Take it from me, San Diego is one of the best cities in the country for young professionals, but with so many neighborhoods to choose from, how do you find the right fit? Whether you're looking for walkability, nightlife, or the perfect work-life balance, I've got you covered. Today, we're going to be breaking down the top 10 neighborhoods according to niche.com in San Diego for young professionals, so you can find the perfect spot to live, work, and ultimately thrive. Now, make sure you stick around till the end of the video because I'm going to be sharing one that so many people are just glancing right over these days. Now, before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Harman. I'm a local real estate professional here in San Diego. I live right in North Park, my office is in North Park, and I absolutely love everything the metro area has to offer. If you're looking for some personalized guidance on your home journey, I would love to connect and help out. All the best ways to reach me are pinned in the comments of this video. And with that, let's get started. So we're starting strong here at number 10 with the Point Loma Peninsula, where we have proper Point Loma, La Playa, Sunset Cliffs, and it goes all the way out to Liberty Station and then Roseville in here. The highlights of this neighborhood are absolutely the views of the San Diego Bay. So property prices are going to range. In this area, they're almost all detached homes, and these can range from 1.5 up to 4-5+ million dollars. Whereas some of the condos that you might find for a 1 or 2 bed condo, you might be looking at about 700,000 coming off of Shelter Island. And closer to Liberty Station, you might get lucky. In fact, there's one on the market, which I'll roll some photos of that. There's one on the market right around here for 1.6 million. It's a 2-bed, 2.5 bath, extremely spacious. Properties in this area are typically going to be more spacious than other places like Hillcrest or North Park or Normal Heights, which we might check out later, not to spoil anything. But the big pluses of this neighborhood for young professionals in particular is going to be the proximity to the San Diego airport, the views, which naturally incites some of the social activities like pickleball over at Barnes Tennis Center. And then you're also really close to downtown. So you still have some great access to the nightlife coming down Harbor Drive into downtown right here. And then just north of downtown, you've got Balboa Park, which everyone knows about Balboa Park. It is a staple of San Diego. Here's some quick photos and prices of active listings in Point Loma right now. And with that, let's move on to number 9. So number 9 is going to be Normal Heights right here. So east of the 15, we have Kensington in pretty much the same area as Normal Heights, but Normal Heights proper is basically from north of El Cajon Boulevard all the way up to these backwoods. And then over, I'd say Texas Street is probably the boundary between Normal Heights and University Heights, and again, north of El Cajon Boulevard. This is a fantastic neighborhood for the restaurant scene, for going out to bars, and just networking and communicating with people over food in particular. There's plenty of other activities on offer, like you're really close to Balboa Park again, and right in here you have the Balboa Tennis Club, which I don't know if you're a tennis player like me, but it is one of the best tennis clubs in San Diego. On top of that, you've got your 805 and 15 freeway entrances and exits right off the either side of you. So it's a really great area for commuting. To get to downtown, you would just shoot down the 805 to the 94 and boom, you're in downtown. Doesn't take more than 15, maybe 20 minutes. All this being said, I do need to let you know, Normal Heights is an incredibly parking impacted neighborhood. So if you're the type that likes to entertain a lot of guests, this might not be the best fit. It's really hard to find parking, particularly close to Adams Avenue, which is one of the other main roads, pretty much the only other main road above El Cajon Boulevard here. But there's some fantastic homes. You can get into a detached single family home, a small one at that, but a detached single family home for as low as 7 to 800,000. Aside from the lower prices compared to Point Loma, the big pluses are going to be the central location where you can zip up and down the freeways wherever you got to go really easily, the restaurant and bar scene, which makes for an excellent nightlife, and also it's a great small business hub, very similar vibe to North Park proper, where you have a ton of small business coming in, but it's more small business friendly over here in North. No, can't speak. It's more small business friendly over here in Normal Heights, in my opinion. But with all that being said, I'll roll some clips of photos of active listings here in Normal Heights to give you an idea of what you might be looking at as far as property goes, as well as the prices. And with that, let's move on to numero ocho. And number 8 just happens to be a stone's throw away right in the greater North Park area. So North Park and South Park kind of blend together around Switzer Canyon here, around Redwood Street, and you're bordering Balboa Park. When you say Balboa Park, you really think of the park that's west of Florida Street, but all of this counts as Balboa Park. This half is just Morley Field. So how do you define North Park? For me, it's going to be from Florida Street over to the 805 and then down to Redwood Street is about where I'd cut the border for North Park and South Park. But this area is a bit of a gray area. Now, what are the best parts of North Park? Obviously, proximity to Balboa Park, and again, tennis player, Morley Field Tennis Club, or Sports Complex, which includes Balboa Tennis Club. You got the zoo right here, botanical building. It's a great place to go walk the dog, and you could literally walk here from the house. I live right in this area here. My office is right over here. I couldn't be more thrilled with my own experience living here in North Park, and I highly recommend you check it out yourself. There's an amazing restaurant scene. We've got Mr. Moto Pizza, Grand Old Barbecue. There's Parkside Market right over here, which is just a little mom and pop grocery store. But you've got a ton of food and restaurant scene along 30th Street and University here. Where it makes a T right at this intersection, that's the hub of North Park. You've got so much food, so many small businesses, so many restaurants. This is the lifeblood of the community. Now, what can you expect from North Park as far as property goes? Your detached home is going from anywhere, depending on the street. Each street has their own values based on the proximity to Balboa Park and then University and El Cajon Boulevard. As you get closer to University and El Cajon, picture like a little buffer band around each of these. Each block you get closer, the lower the value goes because there's typically more apartment buildings along these busier streets. As you go inland and closer to Balboa Park, you've got the larger, more expensive homes in this band here. These can range from 1.5 all the way up to 3 million, depending on the size. But I'd say for your average North Park classic craftsman home built in the 20s, 30s, maybe up to the 50s, the size is going to be between 700 and 1,000 square feet. And the beds and baths are going to be between 2-bed, 1-bath, and 3-bed, 1.5, typically. A lot of these homes, they're built on very small lots and they were meant as 2-bed, 1-baths. Most of them, or a good number of them at this point, have had additions. So whether that's expanding, adding an extra bedroom, or adding an extra bathroom to avoid the inevitable poop battles in the morning. But again, it's an amazing neighborhood and very similar to Normal Heights. You have amazing freeway access. You can get just about anywhere in San Diego within just 20-minute drive. The biggest perks are going to be the nightlife, the restaurant scene. There's not as much impacted parking here in North Park as there is over in Normal Heights. So that's a huge plus if you like the vibe of Normal Heights. Very similar in North Park, just a little bit more mellow, but the prices reflect that. Detached homes are going to be between 900 and 1.2 million and or 900,000 and 1.2 million, whereas a condo can range anywhere from 450,000 up to 6 or 700 depending on the size and bed and bath layout. Moving on to Mission Beach, which we find in the strip right here. I would personally consider Crown Point to be part of Mission Beach, even though it's a little bit separate over here. This is kind of a gray area between Pacific Beach, which is just north, and Mission Beach, which is right over here. But you are, again, very centrally located. You're close to SeaWorld on the southeast, and then just down SeaWorld Drive, you can take that all the way over to the 8 and then 5 down to downtown San Diego. So again, great for commuting, and you can just zip across SeaWorld Drive. You've got Tecolote Canyon, which is home to the San Diego Tennis and Racket Club, which, I mean, I'm talking about tennis a lot here today. But San Diego Tennis Racket Club here, you've got Peninsula Tennis Club in Robb Field, which is a fantastic open space park and hardcourt tennis club. And then just southeast of that, you have Barnes Tennis Center, which is quickly becoming a pickleball hub for San Diego. But you've also got hard tennis courts, 2 clay courts, as well as some padel courts, which if you have not yet tried padel, let's go. It is so fun. But Mission Beach, naturally, with the geography of the area, you have beach on either side. It's a very activity-oriented space. Lots of outdoor people running, biking. There's a lot to offer just in this little strip, and it caters to that outdoor active lifestyle. As far as properties go, the prices are going to be very similar to what we saw in the Point Loma Peninsula, with a starter condo, 1 bed, 1 bath, being about 600 to 700,000. You can get a 2 bed, 2 bath condo for about $1 million, and the detached homes are going to range from 2 all the way up to 5, 6, $7 million, depending on their condition as well as their location on the waterfront. Here's some photos of what we're seeing in Mission Beach today, as well as the prices, so you can get a better grasp of the market here. With that, we're moving on to number 6, which is Mission Valley, right in the center of everything San Diego. You've got North Park, Normal Heights right here, Kensington, you've got Grantville, and then La Mesa further out to the east. You've got Serra Mesa, Linda Vista, you've got Claremont all the way out there, and then Mission Hills right here. So this right here, this is Costco. This is the local hub for all of these areas. The next closest Costco is going to be on Moreno Boulevard, which is closer to this area by Point Loma. So this is a hub, as well as there's an In-N-Out Burger right about here, which I go to way too frequently, to be honest. There's a golf club right in here. There's tons of hotels and businesses on offer. One of my personal favorites in Mission Valley is Pesto Craft Kitchen. I personally know the owner, and their food is amazing. Highly recommend it. But this is one of the rare places in San Diego where we still have the opportunity to build new homes. And Savita is one of the newer communities. They're beautiful homes, and Savita Park is the lifeblood of that community. Again, very outdoor activity oriented, but this is kind of isolated from the rest of the space. The rest of Mission Valley is not very outdoors or activity oriented. It's very much a commuter hub. You go there to take meetings, to do business, and to get other places. It's very close and central in San Diego. You've got the 805, the 163, the 15, the 8. Everything you need to get to other places is right here. So it's fantastic if you have a commuting job or you're an entrepreneur and you're going around town and you need to connect with various different people in various different places. It's also a great place to host meetings for that same reason. But here's some photos of the properties that we're seeing live in the market as well as the prices to give you an idea of what to expect. Moving on to number 5, we're making our way back west again to Pacific Beach. So this should look pretty familiar. Let me scoot it over just a little bit more. See, we have Mission Beach, which we were just talking about with number 7, and Pacific Beach, which I had mentioned, is right here. So again, Crown Point, a little bit of a gray area, but there's tons of activities to do in Pacific Beach as well. I would say a little bit less than Mission Beach, less kind of exercise outdoor oriented, but there's still a lot to do, particularly on this main promenade going all the way out to the pier, which you probably can't see, but that goes all the way out. There's tons of restaurants, tons of small businesses, thrift shops, anything you can think of, you can find along this road. Particularly poke, there's a couple great spots here, and California burritos of all things. You need to try Harry's Taco Club. It is a life-changing burrito. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Um, but yeah, Pacific Beach, again, is going to be pretty similar to Point Loma. I'd say the price point's a little smaller, but the homes are also going to be generally a bit smaller. Yeah, so depending on location, your starter condos are going to be anywhere from 500, 600 to up to 800,000, and your detached homes are going to be about 1.5 to 2, maybe even 3 million depending on the street. Here's some detailed photos for you to look over that are active listings as of the time I'm recording this, as well as their prices, so you can get a better sense for what the market's doing. Okay, again, this should look pretty familiar. Number 4 is going to be the greater Golden Hill area. So this is going to include Golden Hill and Grant Hill, which are both just south of South Park, which, in case you need me to clarify, is just south of North Park up here. So you've got Balboa Park, you've got Morley Field right along here, you've got the Golden Hill Golf Club, as well as the Balboa Park Golf Course. So if you're a golfer, this is a great location. You've got a handful of amazing parks. Right along 25th Street, you've got some great nightlife, amazing restaurants like Kingfisher and Luigi's Pizzeria, which is, in my opinion, the best pizza in San Diego. Some people are going to disagree with me. I'll let you in on a little local secret, local rivalry rather. There's a rivalry between Luigi's Pizza, Sisters Pizza, and Bronx Pizza. Sisters and Bronx are both located in Hillcrest, but Luigi's is down here in Golden Hill, which admittedly is a little bit closer to my house, so I might be a little biased, but it is amazing. Anyways, Golden Hill, your typical detached home is going to be this grand Victorian style or old craftsman style. They're really large homes typically. There are some more standard craftsman, smaller homes, but the majority of the starter living arrangements are going to be more condos and townhomes. This area is somewhat parking impacted, and there's some great hills through the neighborhood, so it's not super walking friendly. You don't really get a ton of people like riding bikes or playing sports too much out in broad daylight. But the restaurant scene, and not to mention the crazy proximity to downtown, literally just west, you can drive down the hill and bam, you're in the heart of San Diego, is a huge plus. So Golden Hill, as far as prices go, you can get let's see, that's a 2-bed, 1-bath. I actually showed that one to my clients last week. $545,000, which is an amazing entry point for something this central in San Diego. You've got 25th right along here. You've got Joey the Cat, which is a registered business on Google, I guess. Um, You've got let's see, this one is a detached home, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet. Nice patio space, a little bit of a lousy driveway, but nice, fresh, renovated interior. You've got the great LVP floors, which everyone hates now. Kitchen's quite small, but it's 3 bed, 2 bath. And for the space, sorry, that's yeah, 1,100 square feet. For the space, this is honestly a really good price. $949,000. It's been on the market for 2 months. I would live there myself, honestly. This is a great neighborhood. The only thing to consider is this one is on, yeah, so this one is on 26th Street. So you're just a stone's throw away from 25th, which again is the hub of the area. You've got Humberto's Taco Shop, which is my personal favorite taco shop in San Diego right here. They've got some amazing food at an amazing price. And then Luigi's just up the way. So this is a great neighborhood. Once you go south of the 94, prices tend to get a little bit lower, but there's also going to be more detached homes rather than apartments. So there's not much on the market in Grant Hill right now, but you can see this is a detached home on Commercial Street for 800,000. There's another one on 20th for 825. There's another one on L Street for 975. And there's, oh, that one's back on the market. Look at that. So this is, sorry, we're going down a little tangent here. This is one of my buddy's listings. This is like a 4-level property. It has a elevator to get up from the parking space, which is off an alley in the back, but the main property is overlooking a cliff. And you're right by the park. It's a really interesting, very unique property. But you've got some amazing views all the way out to the Coronado Bridge. I wish the picture quality on this TV was a bit higher for you. Unfortunately, it's not. But you've got views of downtown and the Coronado Bridge out here. It's a really, really unique place, and they're asking just 1.6 million, which they've dropped the price quite a bit since then, since I last saw it. But it's 3 beds, 3.5 baths, and 3,500 square feet. So it's a huge spot. And it's one of, like, Grant Hill is one of the neighborhoods where you can get an amazing bang for your buck still. But with all that being said, before I go down another tangent, let's go on to number 3. We're in the top 3 now. This is exciting. Number 3 is going to be Ocean Beach. So let me zoom out here just a smidge so we can kind of orient ourselves better here. So Ocean Beach is the northwest corner of the Point Loma Peninsula. So we've got La Playa, which we talked about earlier down here, Sunset Cliffs, and then Ocean Beach is this whole top left corner. You've got some old, you've got some old businesses, amazing old antique stores, thrift shops, some diners. It's a really great neighborhood. One of my buddies actually just bought a home here last year, and it's awesome. I really like Ocean Beach. There's the Ocean Beach Farmers Market where you can meet some really friendly, really kooky individuals. Ocean Beach is known for being very weed friendly in particular, so you meet some very laid back characters. But it's a really awesome part of town. You're close to the water, you're close to just about everything else that Point Loma had to offer. Let's just scope out some of the prices over in Ocean Beach. So move on from Grant Hill. So OB prices again are going to be pretty similar to Main Point Loma. Depending on the street, they might be a little cheaper. Like this one is about 1.5, 1.6 million for 2 bed, 2 bath, 1,000 square feet, detached home. Well, this is listed by one of my good buddies too. Um, let's see, what else we got here? This one's 995 Long Beach Avenue. You're literally 2 blocks away from the water, which is really hard to beat. Listed by Seth O'Byrne here. So this is a condo. It's a two bed, let's see, I think one bath condo, 759 square feet, comes with one parking spot. It's listed at $1 million. So your proximity to the water is going to have an immense impact on the home's value. Like this one is one bed, one bath, detached home, so that's why it's worth a bit more, but 850,000 on the asking price there. Well, let's just scope out this last one here. 5075 Narragansett. This is listed by Katrina Russell, two bed, two bath, 850 square feet condo. Let's see, seems to be in pretty good shape. I really hope the camera is picking up on the quality. This TV is not the best quality, admittedly. The one I'm looking at behind you right now is a bit better. So, comes with two parking spaces, $845 asking price. HOA is about $500 per month. So there's some really good options. It really fluctuates in price depending on your proximity to the water as well as some of the other local hubs. So if you're on Voltaire, that's one of the main roads that goes through Ocean Beach. You can see Yoga Box, which is one of the local businesses here in San Diego, right on that street. And like I said earlier, you've got Robb Field right here. You've got the Barnes Tennis Center right down here. So you've got some amazing amenities along with the dog beach and the kind of running beach. You're going to see a lot of runners and bikers going along this northwest shore. And it's a really great, really laid back and friendly area. I really highly recommend checking it out if you haven't already. And real quick, I'll just run some clips for you so you get a feel for some of these active listings on the market, as well as the prices. So moving on from Ocean Beach, we're heading over to Hillcrest, particularly the Uptown District, which is right here along University Avenue. It's one of the biggest developments in San Diego. It's an entire community. You've got your Trader Joe's right here and a ton of condos and townhomes scattered throughout this whole space. These really range in price quite greatly for like a one bed, one bath, or sometimes studios going for about 400 to 500,000. And your larger units go up to 1.2, 1.3 million. So it's a great entry point, central in San Diego. You just take the 163 either south or north, depending on where you want to go. And you've got some of the best food in the entire area. You've got access to Mission Hills, which is home to some of the best restaurants in San Diego, as well as a staple right here in the Uptown area is the Great Maple, which is my favorite breakfast spot in town. Now, beyond just the Uptown District, you've got a few amazing little neighborhoods such as Marston Hills, which runs in this little U shape right here, and then the Maryland Street townhomes, and then branching off Lincoln Avenue right up here are some of the best little pockets in San Diego. There's also over in Montecito Point, a community called the Canyon Woods community, which has amazing amenities and really awesome. So over in Montecito Point, you have the Canyon Woods complex, which has some amazing amenities with a nice low HOA payment and a great price to entry and a great entry level price on these units. So between Uptown, Canyon Woods, and then off of Lincoln Street here, you have some amazing homes on offer. This is one of my, like, between Canyon Woods and the Lincoln Street branch, these are some of my favorite little neighborhoods to encourage people to check out because they're so easily overlooked. But not as much as number one. So let's check it out here. So the number one pick, according to niche.com, is true downtown San Diego, where you have a few different kind of neighborhoods within that. You've got Little Italy to the northwest, you've got the Marina District to the south, and then East Village, no, to the east. You've got Petco Park right here, which is kind of surrounded by East Village. This is your hip, your kind of your more poppin' scene with some bars, more nightlife. And then bleeding into the Marina District, you have the Gas Lamp, which again, tons of nightlife, but the Marina District itself has some of the more upscale buildings. You're closer to the water. The vibe tends to be a little bit more mellow. And then going north, you've got the Santa Fe Depot, which is the train station that runs through San Diego or downtown San Diego. And then up to Little Italy, where you have some of the best food scene in the city, some great Italian restaurants on offer. Just don't fall for the tourist trap Italian restaurants. If you need a recommendation, just shoot me a text. I'd be happy to provide you one. But downtown San Diego itself is an amazing offer that most people are just overlooking these days because there's so many listings active in downtown at once. There's a bunch of buildings that have units that need to sell, and quite frankly, downtown San Diego just isn't as desirable as it was pre-pandemic. Before the pandemic, when prices were lower and interest rates were lower, a lot of people from more suburban and rural areas were looking to move to a proper downtown, and more specifically, San Diego, which has some of the best weather in the world. So people are coming from colder states like Ohio, Indiana, and Iowa and moving into downtown San Diego, where they can get into a condo for relatively cheap and experience that downtown vibe with great weather. It was a win-win, but now the sizzle is kind of worn off for those people. They're starting to move, and there's a lot of inventory on the market. Right now, it's a great entry point. You can get a great two-bed, one-bath condo for $600,000, depending on the building. The only thing as a home buyer that I need you to be aware of is the HOAs. HOAs in downtown San Diego are either amazing or terrible. There's a lot that are really well managed, and they're going to have very high fees for that monthly basis. It's not uncommon to see HOA fees go from $1,200 all the way up to $2,000 a month, which I know sounds crazy, but when you have a pool, you have 24-hour security. When you have 1,000 windows on the exterior that need to be cleaned on a monthly basis, it really adds up in expenses, and it's important to maintain perspective about what that HOA is actually doing for you. I've heard some horror stories about some buildings where they're just jacking up the HOA fee because they're approving all these nonsense improvements, and it comes off like a desperate attempt to increase the building's value, but the HOA kind of running rampant is also decreasing the value at the same time. So it's a difficult balance. So it's really important to do your research and meet with a qualified local professional. All that being said, I hope you found some value in this video, and I was able to expose you to some neighborhoods that you hadn't previously considered. There's so much to offer here in San Diego, especially for young professionals, and it's really easy to get lost and confused on the vibe you're looking for. So if some personalized guidance might help you with your search to get some clarity on what neighborhood might be the best fit for you and your needs, all my contact info is below in the comments, and you can even schedule a Zoom directly on my calendar. I made it as easy as possible to get in touch with me, so I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one of these videos I make, and I will see you in the next one.